Yo! How's everybody doing out there, man? Happy Wednesday. We had some games last night, man. That was a lot of fun, man. We got some stuff to talk about today. So we got a lot of stuff on the docket that we're going to be talking about. We'll get right into it, man. We'll get right into it. As always, thank you guys for joining me. And welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball as accurate as possible. Now, like I just said, we have a lot to talk about today. We have, we're going to talk about the WNBA draft really quickly. We're going to talk about the Bradley Beal versus Coach Bud. There was apparently reporters talking shit about Scott Barnes that was caught on audio. I'll be honest, I don't know if it's real or not, which is what I was trying to figure out, but we'll talk about that really quickly. And obviously we'll talk about the Warriors barely making it into the game, and we'll talk about awards. So that's going to be on the docket for today. Now, before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps the channel out. Now let's get right into it. I want to just get this out of the way, because I want to get to some more positive shit. But I think it's important that we talk about this, because of, obviously what we're trying to accomplish over here. But this is big, in my opinion, right? It says a lot about the relationship between players and media and why it is the way that it is. Oh yeah, I know. I got a lot to say about one person. What's good, Elijah? Who is that one person? We got some shit to talk about today. I'm gonna give y'all a heads up. I might have flip-flopped. I might have flip-flopped on a take or an opinion that I've had all year. So we'll get into that just a little bit later. But I mean, y'all can call me whatever you want, but I might have flip-flopped. I'm just being honest. But let's take a look at this really quickly. Which was super bad, especially last year. His attitude, like he's having fun up there, which is great. First year, or even before, it kept going worse and worse every year. We first interviewed Mogo when he was drafted. I was shocked. He is such an awesome. No, they put him in like just as a they laughed when somebody said, there's hot mics here. And I'll be honest with you, I'll be the first to say I thought this was fake, because there's just no way. And the other part in it is, when we see the actual interviews, half the time that you can't hear these guys because a mic gets physically passed around the room during these interviews. So I don't know how they got this. But if this is real, that's alarming. That's alarming because of the way that they laughed. Because I'll keep it real, right? Sometimes people talk like this, and it's not personal, right? But at the same time, you work in a space where there's always cameras around, especially nowadays. Apparently, there's always mics around, and you have to be careful in the things that you say about the people that put food on your table. This is what you guys do for a living. What would you be doing if it wasn't for these guys playing? There are some people that don't have that connection that says, okay, I'm good at what I do in terms of reporting, in terms of my opinions or whatever it might be that they think they're good at, in terms of their delivery, their writing, storytelling, whatever it is that they think they are good at when it comes to being a reporter or an analyst. You still need the product, which is the players and the athletes. And unfortunately, these products aren't inanimate objects. They're people. And for you to be so comfortable to speak about them in the same room you guys interview them is alarming. This isn't something that you guys had in your private conversation over lunch or breakfast with colleagues or whatever. Like, this was right there. That's ridiculous to me. You can say you watch and understand basketball, but say why we draft Mobo. That's why Stephen A. Smith trash. I mean, I've never heard him say this though. Right? I think there's a lot of mixed things on Stephen A. Smith, but he's never been this irresponsible. Because like I said, people in the workplace, right? I want to try to make this relatable. People in the workplace, if you're at school, like, this happens. You could be in class and you're like, damn, this professor dumb as fuck. Right? Like, you could be at work, be like, yo, my boss is fucking stupid. Like, he don't know what the fuck those conversations exist, right? I don't want to pretend like those conversations don't happen. I guess the part here is the way that they talk about Scotty Barnes, who, people call him, there's people that joke about him being autistic and all of this shit, where it's like, but to be a media member that works with them and speak like this in the same room you guys get your articles and quotes from is kind of crazy to me. It's crazy to me. They gotta do a lot better than that. But we're gonna switch gears because I wanted to get, like I said, I wanted to get that negative shit out the way. Congratulations to all the women that were drafted the other night. Paige Beckers, like everyone knew, went first. Dominique Malanga went second. That spin move dunk was enough for me. Spin move dunk that she did at 6'6" at 18 years old. Nah, that's enough for me. Yeah, give her the Supermax now. So congratulations to all of those women. Hey man, I think they're turning it into more of a show, and I think that's the right direction. ESPN as a whole player will disappoint, and ESPN will talk about them as a person or personal life. I mean, they do like to do that at times. But shout out to the women. I'm really excited for this WNBA season. I've mentioned it before, but last year, and this is how crazy media is, right? Because we're talking about them. I'm watching the draft, right? They're talking about when the Indiana Fever have their draft. They didn't draft until the second round, right? So last year, in that same draft, people are saying, oh, Caitlin Clark is good, but we don't know how good she'll be, right? Will she be able to do the things she was doing in college? Can she translate it? People are dissecting her, which is obviously what they do, right? And then to go from that to this WNBA draft, and they're talking about, oh, but they got so-and-so, and they got, they have this nucleus they're building around Caitlin Clark, and now all of a sudden they're a championship contender because of her. Look at how crazy. That's how crazy media is. That's how crazy they are. I was telling y'all last year, probably take her 3 games. Figure that whole shit out. I think she figured it out in 2.5. I think she did better than I predicted. Was the rookie of the year, and honestly, I think I don't remember where she ended up in the MVP voting, but she was a good second to me. And so it's just so funny to see the 360 on it. I think Paige Beckers is gonna kill. I think she about to kill. But like I said too, with the draft, they got to do this more runway style. They got to get people's like they got to really appeal to some of the women audience, in my opinion, right? Whether it's like doing a whole red carpet, having them talk about their outfits, having basketball analysts sit there and be like, hey, what outfit you got on? Just looks awkward. You got to have someone that's from like the E network doing that shit, right? But I think they're trending the right direction. They're trending in the right direction. And I think coming off of the NBA season, right, the playoffs that we're about to have, which I think is going to be great, going into a WNBA season that has a lot of storylines, I think we have a little we got the recipes to have basketball, like really great fun basketball to watch year round, right? So I'm really excited. She definitely top 3 already. Caitlin, I don't think there's a point guard better than her, so I could start right there. I don't think there's a single point guard better than Caitlin Clark in the WNBA right now. And so that means she's literally she up there fighting with Asia, Nafisha Kalir, Brianna Stewart. Like, those are the players that she's getting, that she's going to go toe to toe with in terms of comparisons, right? Because that's what her output is. And I think, to your point, Richard, she's right there. She's right there. Wait till Juju gets healthy and go to the league. That's what I'm saying. But she got to get healthy first, right? Like you said, that's number one. Health first. So shout out to all those women that got drafted. Now we gonna switch a little bit, right? And we're gonna go to the NBA. But before we get into last night's games, do you guys hear that thing about what Coach Bud, what Mike Budenholzer had apparently said about Bradley Beal, and how there was apparently, I don't know how they always get these quotes. Like, this is, we really gotta find these people. I genuinely don't know how they get these quotes, but allegedly Mike Budenholzer had said, he wanted Bradley Beal to play like Drew Holiday, and Bradley Beal had an issue about that. And I've seen a lot of stuff on this, right? I've seen a lot of stuff on this on the internet, so we'll talk about it. My glorious king, what's up, Derpy? What's up, Derpy Entertainment? What's good, man? What's good? Women just complain that's not gonna help. They get mad that WNBA don't do well, but don't buy no jerseys, tickets, watch, etc. Yo, Elijah, you and Bruce gonna get us in trouble. You and Bruce have said some wild shit. I can't wait till the WNBA season, man. Y'all about to entertain the fuck out of me. Yo, I seen a meme earlier. Speaking of which, it said my wife's credit card got stolen, but the thief is spending less than my wife. He's like, do I cancel it? Like, this thief is helping us reach our financial goals. Oh man, people are funny, man. The internet is undefeated. But back to topic, right? Speaking of someone wasting money, Bradley Beal has been stealing from the Phoenix Suns all year long. Whose side are you guys on? Do you guys think that Bradley Beal has the right to be mad when Coach Bud goes to him and says, "I need you to play like Drew Holiday," or do you think that Mike Budenholzer has not just the right, but he was in line to say, "This is what I want you to play like"? I'm curious what you guys think about that. Bradley Beal apparently said, "Don't ever disrespect me like that. Don't ever tell me to play like another player." And all I could think about, Mike all the way, Bradley Beal side, you're the tiebreaker, Elijah. You're the tiebreaker. You're the tiebreaker. My V, now you good. You're the tiebreaker. Are you on Bradley Beal's side, or are you in Mike Budenholzer's side? All I think about with this situation right now is you ever seen that video of Bradley Beal when he's telling all them kids like, you gonna have to take my spot. Let me see if I could find it. I think it's this one. Let me see. All I see is this. Every time this Bradley Beal stuff comes up.
How you carry yourself, all that shit matter, man. Y'all gotta understand, when you go to college, you don't get away with this shit, man.
Where's the one where he says
you ain't gonna have no job? They just gonna say, here, just take the money, we don't even want you. That's the two options you got in the league. Just get into the league, you gotta play me.
I always laugh at this now.
And guess what? Can't none of y'all motherfuckers guard me.
And then he on the bench. Am I fucked up for laughing? This shit, like, every time the Bradley Beal stuff comes up, this is what comes to mind. And these kids are taking his spot. Shit's hilarious. Warriors, what's good, Bruce? You played the Grizzlies, Bruce, and we won. Warriors will get swept or lose in 5. Holy shit, yeah, we got to talk about that. Y'all barely won. I mean, a win is a win, but barely. Barely. I was getting a little scared. For y'all, but we'll get to that in 1 second. I honestly, when it comes to this Mike Budenholzer, Bradley Beal situation, I'm on Bradley Beal's side. And it's the same situation that Damian Lillard was kind of in terms of, when the media was talking about him, right? I think we've talked about this before, right? Like, you'll get certain coaches or certain management that'll get a specific player and then ask you to do something that you're not good at, or that's not your strength. That's weird. Like, that's weird to me. Right? Like, you're not going to ask someone that paints houses to come in and fix the electrical wires in your house just because they both work on houses. That don't make sense. The same way you're not going to Drew Holiday and say, I need you to shoot 20 plus times a game and average 28 points per game in this league. You need to be the point of the offense. You're running pick and rolls, coming down screens, taking threes. Like, you wouldn't do that to him. So I get asking an offensive player to do more, but to have him switch his whole role, to me, defeats the purpose of you getting that player. You could have just tried to get somebody else. And so I'm actually on Bradley Beal's side in this, even though he's been stealing money out of them for a whole year. But shit, man. Oh, my God. What is happening? Ja Wick didn't show up. The hate is real cool word because the Suns suck. Thank you, Jason. I was waiting for a good time to bring this up. OKC winning the chip, all good. Warriors winning that chip, period. Nah, Bruce, we don't hate. We just don't like glazing or peen riding over a bandwagon team. Beal was the mean for a trash-ass Wizard. He's the third option on the Suns. He has to buy in to win. No, I get that he has to buy in to win, but he needs to be a scorer. The whole composition of the team sucks, and that's not his fault. that's not his fault. Like, I'm coming in here with a whole bag to fix one thing in the house, and then you're like, no, I need you to go do something else. Motherfucker, that's not in my bag. What you mean? I don't have that with me. I know how to do it a little bit, but that's not what we discussed on the phone. And so I could see why that could be an issue. But, people just, obviously they suck, and he was very poor, even in shooting the ball, which is what he was supposed to do. So, hey man, it goes either way. I'm not like, we can't trade you now, we can't talk about you, and you laughing with the other team while we suck. They should have gotten someone else. He was not a good fit, but he wants a chip. He got to buy in it. If not, just collect that check. He did collect the check though. Hit the like button. If you hate the Warriors and the Knicks, I'll do that in a heartbeat. Hit the like button, chat. I appreciate you guys, man. Where y'all think these guys are going? Real quick. Where do you guys think? You guys think Bradley Beal is gonna go? Kevin Durant is gonna go? And I guess also Zion. We're talking about players moving. I think Zion is gonna end up moving too. The question is where. If I'm Bradley Beal, I get the fuck out of Phoenix. I get the fuck out of Phoenix immediately. But he does have the leverage because he has the no trade clause. I don't know how the fuck he got that in there, but he does have leverage. I like that. I think Beal to the Heat is something that I saw. I think that's a good landing spot for him. I'm seeing like Zion to like, I don't know, maybe like Atlanta. But, like, you can't bring him to the strip clubs, especially when the strip clubs got food. That might be the worst spot to throw him. I don't know. I heard somebody say try to get him to Minnesota, pair him with Anthony Edwards. That sounds like it's going to be a mission to try to defend that duo. Don't ever let that duo out the hotel. Don't let them out the hotel at all. I don't think Kevin Durant is going back to the Warriors. I think I don't think he's in his personality. Zion to Houston isn't bad. I do think that they might need some shooting as well too. But who would you get rid of? It would be the question, right? Like, you're gonna have to try to keep Sengun and Jalen Green. So you get rid of Dylan Brooks and a bunch of other stuff. Zion to the Spurs. Checks everything. Food Club, Baby Mama Central. I don't think he's going to KD. Even if they wanted him. I mean, which they did want him, but I don't think he's we talked about it before. He did that podcast with Tony Allen and Zach Randolph, and they spoke about him constantly moving throughout his childhood, and I think that's just how he is. He's a nomad, so he's just gonna keep moving around. It's completely in his personality, but I don't think he's gonna go back to a place that he was at already, at least not on the team. That's the big question mark. Where is Kevin Durant gonna go this season? But we'll see. Smith, he hates trade. We'll see what happens, man. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about you guys been talking about Kevin Durant. There's gonna be There were some rumors about even John Morant, even though I think he's been playing really well lately. But Bruce, you guys did it, man. You guys did it. You guys escaped. And the best part for the Warriors in them winning last night is they still bought themselves a couple days of rest. Because if they would have lost and then had to play on Friday, then have to play again on Sunday, oh, that would have been a problem. I think that would have been a real, obviously they're professional NBA players and, they should be able to deal with something like that. But I don't think that would have been a great start for them, going into the playoffs, right? But they barely won. So the final score was 121 to 116. 121 to 116. And Ja had to roll the fuck out of his ankles. Yo, isn't that crazy? It almost kind of felt like that Lakers Thunder game recently when Luka got thrown out, right? Like once Ja came out of the game, the Warriors really started to kick it up. And it was like 81-82, something like that. In that exact moment, and then he went and shot some free throws. But just to get rid of the Memphis Grizzlies, who just fired their head coach, John Morant gets injured. They're doing a whole bunch of shit. Jaren Jackson is trying his best to be a magician and disappear. Even with all of that, the Golden State Warriors needed 38 from Jimmy Butler, which was a massive, massive 38. 12 of 18 from the free throw line. I mean, talk about getting to the line. And then 37 for Steph Curry, and he was 13 for 13 from the free throw line. What a game. Yo, like, that was an unbelievable game. I mean, like, that was a game. I'm trying to find. Let's see if they'll put it over here. The Warriors are such a well-oiled machine. It's and to me, that's why they are such a tough out right now. I'm trying to find this exact play, bro. Did they show this? Did they show this whole sequence? Let me see if they show the whole sequence. I doubt they do. So, right here, right? I would love try to flip those three into Trey Zion while getting small pieces to fit them in those trades. Underestimate the Warriors at your own risk. I mean, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But let's take a look at this because I thought I noted this down, right? 111, 109. The Warriors just got a steal on this possession. Let me see what it was. This was off of John Morant turned the ball over right before this, like literally right before they came down, right? And as they're running down the floor, Steph and Dre are calling the same play. Right? They just talk about two guys that have played together for such a long time. They have such similar reads, right? They have such similar reads. And they literally were running down the floor calling the same play. And it was this.
Moran should have pulled it out. Butler with the move. Green, Curry, three, good!
You could see it coming the whole way down. You could see it coming the entire way down. And that sealed the game to me, right? It was one of those that's just one of those shots that it just takes the life out of you. And I'll give Memphis credit. They kept fighting. Steph hits another three. It was a really incredible game. I will say about the Warriors though, and I'm glad I saw this out of Jimmy Butler, right? Because we've talked about this before, right? If Jimmy can be in that 25 to 30 range, Steph can be in that 25 to 30 range, they'll have to be responsible for about 50 points a game together. 50 to 60 points a game together. They had like 75 last night. But that's the range that they have to be to win in the playoffs, in my opinion. And to Jimmy Butler's credit, he's done it like the last 3 games. I think he's been averaging like 27, 28 in the last 3 games. So they're absolutely trending in the right direction. The thing that worries about me when it comes to the Golden State Warriors is this. They had a graphic up last night, right, of all of these things that Jimmy Butler has impacted since he's gotten on the team. It was from whatever their rank was to like the best, right? Opponent points, their like percentages in shooting threes, field goal percentages, free throw. They were like last to first or something like that, 27th to first. He impacted the game in so many ways, right? But the reality about the Warriors was they were a 10 seed before he got there. And we saw it last night. The big games that we've been seeing everyone have, like Podziemski, Moses Moody, are they going to be able to show up so that Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler don't have to score 40 apiece to win games? Right? And, I don't know if, like, it's just playoff Jimmy. I don't know what the case might be. But he needs to be that aggressive, right? Because what's going to happen is he's going to open up shots for everyone else around him. When he's that aggressive, he was already doing it when he wasn't shooting the basketball. So imagine him actually looking for his shots. It'll really open things up. But it's something definitely to look out for is how will the rest of those guys respond consistently game in and game out. We're seeing that Steph and Jimmy can put up the 25, 30 points a game together, right? Can those other guys fill in the gap? And I guess the other thing, too, is Kuminga's not playing. There's a lot of people that are talking about how or why or what's going on. Some people are pointing at the contract, right? They're really trying to devalue him because he didn't sign that extension with them. So now they could sign him at a minimum and then start playing him a lot. But I'm curious how he'll be able to impact the Warriors because he is a very talented young player. But if he's not getting any minutes, you're taking his confidence away. And I can't imagine him coming into a game and playing well with no confidence, right? So we'll see what happens. He was definitely worth a new contract. Jimmy getting that ring this year. I mean, they look really good. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. They have looked really good, but if this is the form that Jimmy Butler is going to be in, and we know how good Steph Curry is, they definitely have a shot. Now, to look at their matchup in the first round, right? Because they're going to be going against the Houston Rockets, the number 2 seed. They've been the 2 or 3 seed pretty much the entire season, right? All about their defense. They have a very skilled big in Sengun. They have a dynamic player in Jalen Green. So it's not going to be easy. I personally have the Warriors in this series, right? I think that they're going to beat the Houston Rockets. Now, how many games will it take is going to be important if you want them to get this ring, Bruce. Because to go through the games that they've already had, right, just to get to this point, having to play an extra game last night, the last thing that you want if you're the Golden State Warriors is a 7-game series in the first round against an extremely physical Houston Rockets team. So when I was talking about the most ideal situation for the Warriors is if they can kind of try to rest Steph a little bit through the first round, I don't think they have that luxury. And this is looking like it could go 7 depending on how the Houston Rockets come out in the playoffs. And the thing is, Dillon Brooks is going to be fucking annoying. He is going to be annoying. And the worst part in this is he's not even their best defender. He's big. He's physical. He can knock down threes. But we're now wondering, how will Amen Thompson do? I'm imagining he's probably going to be sticking Steph Curry for most of this series. Dillon Brooks is going to be the one that's going to be physical with Jimmy. Jimmy is going to try to get him in foul trouble. He's definitely going to try to get him in foul trouble early. So whether he gets those whistles or not is going to be a very key thing to watch early in these games, right? But if Amen Thompson can do anything remotely to what he did in their last game, it could be a really long series for the Golden State Warriors. The Buoys was hot as hell last night. Already talking shit before the series started. Whoever he guards is going to average 30. Rockets beating them. Like, the problem with the Rockets, in my opinion, is Draymond is going to neutralize Sengun. That to me is the issue for the Rockets, right? Because it's one of those things where if Jalen Green isn't hitting shots, they're going to go to Sengun to try to generate offense, to try to open up passing lanes for everybody else. But if he's neutralized, and now you're relying on Jalen Green to hit shots, right? And as we've seen, he doesn't have the greatest shot selection in the world. Now you're relying on him to hit shots, a Dillon Brooks to hit threes. That's not a definitive thing for me. Now, can the Rockets potentially steal a couple games on defense? Maybe, but that's what I think makes this series very interesting, and that's why I'm really excited to watch them go against each other, especially with what we saw in the last game. We'll see, because if Tari Eason is also real good, but we're talking about Jimmy and Steph. We're talking about Jimmy and Steph. Yeah, all of those guys, it's good. They're gonna need all of the Houston Rockets to win this series, right? I think whoever wins the series, and like I said, I have the Warriors winning it. Whoever wins the series is gonna be one of those where you come out like beat up. Whoever wins it, and I think that for the Warriors who are looking to go and get a championship, that's a little worrisome. Because Steph Curry looked tired a month ago. Like, he looked tired a month ago. And he's had to put up 50s and 30s and play 40 minutes in games and had to play an extra game. Now he's going to... It's gonna be tough. And if the Warriors are going to win, I think they're gonna go out. They're gonna come out of it a little bit beat up. Now, Well, we'll turn back to the Memphis Grizzlies really quickly, who have a game on Friday night, right? Man, what do you do if you're Ja? I saw a lot of people that were getting on Zach Edey, right? I saw a lot of people in comments talking about Zach Edey missing layups, Zach Edey out there doing cardio and blah 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 blah. And I get it, right? He's the biggest, tallest player on the floor. But he also has the least experience, and he's not that strong, at least compared to some of these guys, right? 17 rebounds last night. And I get that he missed a lot of layups. There was a hook shot he took at the end of the game that wasn't even close. But Jaren Jackson Jr. can't give you 18 points and 6 rebounds in a game like this. They isolated him towards the end in the fourth quarter. Ja was out here. Go take I forget who was on him. I think it was Moody that was on. I think it might have been Moody that was on him. And when I tell you Jaren Jackson put up some bullshit, like when I tell you he put up some bullshit, Ja goes down. Desmond Bane is still trying to do his best to keep them in this game. I mean, where is Jaren Jackson? 6 rebounds? No blocks? Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, I don't get it, man. And we're talking about the rookie center, which, by the way, too, why the fuck are you guys letting him guard Jimmy Butler? Like, we fired Taylor Jenkins, and the guys that are guarding Jimmy Butler are Zach Edey and Santi Aldama. Like those were the guys that were guarding Jimmy Butler. It wasn't Jaren Jackson Jr. It wasn't Desmond Bane just trying to be physical with him at times. It was Zach Edey and fucking Santi Aldama. Like, what are we doing? It was horrible. It was horrible. And I got to give a lot of credit to Ja, because he, I think, was also trying his best. Rolled an ankle, came back and tried to play again, which I don't know if he's going to be ready by Friday. That was a bad roll. And it's just, that was just unfortunate. That was just unfortunate. Zach Edey smoking layup. Zach Edey biggest getting treated like he the smallest. Zach Edey out there for cardio. Now, listen, he definitely smoked a whole bunch of layups. He definitely did. But we need more out of Jaren Jackson Jr. You're the only former All-Star in this team. Like, we need more out of you, bro. Like, game gets tight, we're like, Desmond Bane got this. I just think that's crazy. I just think that's crazy. And listen, man, like, the only reason Zach Edey was in them positions is he was the one getting the rebounds, and he was the one cutting and getting in the lane. Like, they're not doing that with Jaren Jackson Jr. Why? Why are you not the one in the position to be the one attempting those layups and those dunks? Why? Because the motherfucker want to stand on the 3-point line the whole game. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. And at some point, if you're the Grizzlies, like, you just have to pull Zach Edey. Like, at some point, you got to take him out the game. That's on them. If he's out there, like, I don't know, man. I got some mixed feelings about the way that they handled that situation. Now, could we just take a second? Because, like I said, it was an unbelievable game that we saw last night. Could we just take a second to appreciate the game of basketball right now real quick.
D'Angelo rolling the dice and leaving Bane on the floor with those 3 fouls. It's Curry double feeding Looney inside. Aldama faces him. Payton a screen. Curry will
Brother,
chase.
this guy has ran. Talk about cardio.
Curry the corner. That is an incredible shot. Just an incredible shot.
Nah,
Enough to bring us
this guy is unreal, bro. That man ran the entire court. The entire court. And hit a contested. Bro, what are we doing? Like, that's some crazy shit. Now, it wasn't just Steph, right? We saw 2 of the best point guards in the NBA going at it. I mean, what is this?
From the Bill King School. A legendary broadcaster out here, John Miller. So many great ones in this area. Here's Moran. Oh, he did it on purpose.
You ever see something and you're not sure if you know what you saw? This is like when Vince Carter put his arm through the rim. That's the same feeling that I got. And it's not until they slowed it down, right? Where you really see what happened. And you're sitting there like, what the fuck did I just watch? So let's see this one more time.
Look at this. Off the glass by Josh. Threw it under the arm of Butler. Caught it up.
On the rebound, it's not like he got it and tipped it back. He brought it back down and put it. Unreal. Like anyone that's questioning where the state of basketball is right now, I'm going to just show them 2 plays. Just show them 2 plays, man. Like, just show them 2 plays. Like, these guys are unreal. Unreal. Game plan of the Warriors was basically put Edie in the pick and roll. Yeah. 100%, Bruce. At what point as a coach are you like, okay, we either pull him or put him on someone else? Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, at what point do you sub him out or rotate who he's guarding so he's not the one in the pick and rolls constantly? It's like, I feel like they set bro up to get shit on like that. Like, they set him up. Like, it feels like they set him up. Like, it looked crazy to me. He's playing next game. No way he misses. I mean, he rolled that ankle pretty bad. Like, I don't even think he could put weight on that right now. The way he rolled it, I don't know. I feel like he might be in a walking boot right now. I would love to see it, but we'll see what happens. Now, that wasn't the only playing game that we saw last night, right? Because we saw the Atlanta Hawks take on the Orlando Magic, which the Magic won 122-95. This game was not very close. This game was not very close. Let me double back to the first quarter really quickly. The first quarter ended and it was 32-17, and Paolo Banchero hadn't hit a single field goal in that quarter. I mean, Paolo had one made field goal through the first half, and they were up 61-47. We need to get Trae Young out of Atlanta Hawks, bro. Like, and listen, man, I don't think Trae Young had a great game by any means, right? And especially not by his standards. 8 of 21 from the field, 28 and 6. I thought he would have had to be at like the 35 and 8 range for them to win this game. But, and we'll talk about his ejection in 1 second. He was frustrated with that game from the beginning. He talks about in his post-game press conference, he had a bunch of floaters that he thought were good shots. And I'm sure he probably thought they were good shots, but they were hitting him consistently. You know how like a lot of times when you see people in pick and rolls, especially guards, they'll like give them a little bit of a cushion. They weren't doing that at all with Trae Young. And a lot of his floaters were not comfortable. It was going towards the baseline at very weird angles, and he can hit those. But every time he was getting hit and it was contested, and that's how it was the whole game pretty much. And, you know, that's the Orlando Magic's MO. I saw some people say they don't play a pretty brand of basketball. They play like a 2000 style of basketball. They're going to be physical on defense. And they're going to give Paolo Banchero the ball pretty much every possession. Him and Franz Wagner are going to get the ball possession to possession. And it's slow. And they grind out games. That's why their games are so low scoring, right? A part of it is their defense, but a part of it is they eat up all of that 24-second clock. And they have size, so, you know, that's why I had them winning this game, right? You know, I thought they'd be able to dominate them. They're just too big for the Atlanta Hawks. And we gotta watch this, right? We gotta watch Trae Young because he was not happy at the end of this game.
Black, while KCP.
I think it's this one.
And the biggest cheerleaders over there.
He keeps getting hit.
Those are veteran guys.
They showed on the playback that on the way back, Anthony Black was yapping at him. They were shoving and shit on the way back.
Anthony Black comes up with a huge block. But those two vets just want to win, and they know these two guys are getting it done. They now have 40 points between them. Wow.
I'm not going to lie, though. If you are going to get ejected out of the game, I'm not going to lie. If you're going to get ejected, this is the way to do it. I don't like what he did. We'll talk about that in just 1 second. But if you're going to get ejected, this is the way to do it.
Their 7th combined.
Nutmeg a motherfucker. Hit the floater.
And scores it.
He throws it hard. He's not even looking at the ref.
That's a T. Now it's from technical. And
snatches the ball, fakes it. It walks off. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. And personally, I would have loved to see this referee in that situation, even though I don't blame them for the two techs. I think they were both warranted. Like I said, I think Trae Young knew exactly what he was doing. But it would have been really cool to see the ref say, no, you gonna take this ass whooping like the rest of your team. You don't get to go to the back, shower, get ready to get the fuck up out of here. No. You go stay for this ass whooping because you've been a part of it this whole time. I think that would have been cool to see out of the ref, but I agree. I think Trae Young needs to go. The funniest thing to me, you know, is the funniest thing. I think the Orlando Magic could really use Trae Young. I really think that they would benefit a lot from getting Trae Young because, one, you just let Paolo Banchero be the scorer, right? He doesn't have to be the decision maker, playmaker as much, right? He's still young and he still has a tendency to make some really bad decisions, right? And take some really bad shots. But number two, Trae Young can really shoot the basketball. And this Orlando Magic team desperately needs shooting. And on top of that, the weakness with having a Trae Young is you need a really good defense and you need size to go around him, which the Orlando Magic have. To me, it's a perfect match. If I'm the Orlando Magic, I'm trying to get Trae Young, and then I'm trying to get homeboy on the Milwaukee Bucks. What's his name? Green on the Milwaukee Bucks. Those would be the two players, if I'm the Orlando Magic, that I would be trying to get somehow, some way. Trae Young and Green out of the Milwaukee Bucks to get some shooting. It would suck to see because I know Jalen Suggs has been really good for them also. I don't know how that situation would work. Give them like KCP and some other shit. I don't know what they would do, but I think that would be a really good situation for Trae Young and the Orlando Magic if they could somehow make that work. Pick and roll would be nasty. Yup, it would be nasty. And I think it would be really cool if they could have Trae Young and Paolo Banchero, and Trae Young can play pick and roll with him. They could invert it if they want to. He could do it with Franz Wagner. Invert that pick and roll if they want to. They would have, in my opinion, so many options if they get a Trae Young on their team. But it kind of went exactly how I thought it would go for Atlanta, man. Like, they just, outside of Trae Young, they got no one. They really genuinely have no one. So let's look ahead. Let's look ahead to tonight's matchups, right? Because we have the Chicago Bulls taking on the Miami Heat and the Sacramento Kings taking on the Dallas Mavericks. I will make this very quick for you guys. Chicago's playing Atlanta, and I think Chicago goes into the playoffs. Sacramento beats Dallas, and then Sacramento also beats Memphis. So I think that's I think that's what I would go for. Man, they would have traded his ass too. The pick and roll, Dallas should have kept him. They might have traded his ass too, but I got Chicago tonight. I think Josh Giddey and Kobe White are like that. Like I mean, I think they're like that. And outside of Tyler Hero, if you're the Miami Heat, that's the only person that I see showing up with his chest out talking about we're going to win this shit. Bam is going to say it, but it's hit or miss of whether he's going to play like it. And honestly, it's the same thing when it comes to like a Andrew Wiggins. So I think Chicago takes care of them tonight. And then if you're Dallas, you guys just got no players. Now, if you're telling me Anthony Davis about to have a 40-17 game, sure. Is it going to happen? No. I think 30-30 from DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine is way more likely than a 35-point game for Anthony Davis. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think Zach about to shoot 40 times tonight. Like, no bullshit. I think he's about to shoot the shit out the ball tonight. So I think that's going to be the matchup. I think Sacramento beats Memphis, especially just because of the jaw injury. Excuse me. And I think the Chicago Bulls beat the Atlanta Hawks because I think the Atlanta Hawks are low-key compromised. I think Trae Young needs to get the fuck up out of there. So that's what I got. Now, before we go, and I know we're already past the hour mark today, I wanted to actually talk about. I don't know if he gets 35, man. We'll see. I mean, he did have some good games outside of the Lakers game, so we'll see. But they gonna get blown out, I think, too. Honestly, I wanted to circle back to this conversation of all the awards, right? From the Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved, Coach of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, and then obviously the MVP, right? So let's start with the Defensive Player of the Year. Oh shit! Can we talk about Zach Edey? Gosh, he suck. Yo, if he get a little offensive bag, sheesh. He knows what he needs to work on this offseason. I think that's for sure. I think he knows what he needs to work on. He got to put on some weight. He does do that. He got to keep that ball up. He got to keep that ball up. He do got to keep that ball up. Honestly, and that's where I wanted to get to, right? Defensive Player of the Year. I see people say Evan Mobley. I see people say Lu Dort. And then obviously Draymond Green, right? I personally think that Draymond Green is going to get it. My pick would be Dyson Daniels. And, you know, a lot of people were talking about how good Wemby was when it came to the blocks, right? He had an incredible season last year. A lot of people thought that he should have won the Defensive Player of the Year last year, right? 254 blocks. He's tied for 60th between the NBA and ABA in all time in blocks in a single season, and people thought that he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. You know where Dyson Daniels' steals season this year ranks all time? People are talking about it's the most in 15 years. Do you know where it ranks all time amongst all steals in the history of the game between the NBA and the ABA? He ranks 22nd all time with 229. If you're going to go with stats, then you have to go with Dyson Daniels, in my opinion. If you're going to go with wins, then I think you go to Draymond. Because before Jimmy Butler got there, he didn't really have anyone, to be honest with you. And I guess maybe in a weird way, this kind of makes the case for Jimmy Butler for elevating their defense by so much, right? I think Evan Mobley looks great because they have a really great system over there in Cleveland, and he has Jared Allen to back him up. So he gets to really roam and do a lot of the things that he does. But I personally think Dyson Daniels needs that shit. I think he deserves it. I think Dyson Daniels has had an incredible season. And sort of crazy pull. 6-man Monk. Monk is a crazy pull. These awards are given off names, nothing else. Malik Balling. Malik Beasley? Malik Beasley. I mean, let's take a look at what's Malik Monk's numbers. I'm curious now. Let's see. Malik Monk this year, 17.2, 5.6 assists, 3.8 rebounds on 43% shooting, 32.5 from three, and 31.6 minutes per game. Pritchard, he's averaging 14.3, 3.5 assists, 3.8 rebounds on 47.2% shooting from the field and 40.7% from three at 28.4 minutes per game. Honestly, I didn't think that their numbers were like that, honestly. Now let's take a look at what Malik Beasley's stats for this year looks like. 16.3, 2.6 rebounds, 1.7 assists on 43% shooting from the field, 41.6% from three, and 27.8 minutes per game. That's a little tougher than I thought it was, because I was so clear on Peyton Pritchard. I thought Peyton Pritchard would kind of walk away with it. And this would be my counter in terms of his numbers being lower than Malik Monk and Malik Beasley, right? With all of those star players, the fact that he even averages 14.3 is impressive. Like genuinely impressive, because there are so many other players that the ball is gonna find. You're talking Tatum, Brown, Derek White, Porzingis, before you get to Peyton Pritchard. And the only way you score that much a game is by being extremely efficient, which he has been. 47.2% from the field and 40.7% from three. And so, yeah, but they're all doing the celebration to him now, Elijah. It's cool now. He don't got the toughest celly in the league, because that grenade one is the new toughest celly in the league. I still think 3 to the dome Melo is the best shit ever. I still think that's the best shit ever, but I'm biased. I'm biased. What did Beasley's numbers look like last year? 11.3 last year, and then the year before that he got traded between two teams. I don't know, man. This is really tougher than I thought it would be. I thought it was clear Peyton Pritchard. He's probably going to get it, right? If we're being honest, Peyton Pritchard is probably going to get it. But I think that the Detroit Pistons have had a hell of a year, right? And if you're taking, winning involved, right, and the roles that they're playing plus the numbers, Malik Beasley's looks pretty good, man. Like, Malik Beasley's looks pretty good on a team that has overachieved by a lot of people's standards, right? Which actually now it's perfect. It brings us to Coach of the Year. In my mind, there's only 2 Coach of the Years. You think the favorite odds is is that the actual odds? Let's see. Could we fucking... Wait, there's people that are putting Russell Westbrook. Right now, I'm seeing a tracker that's saying Russell Westbrook, Malik Beasley, and then Peyton Pritchard is the favorite right now. Coach of the year, Mike Malone. Max Reed second. Nas Reed. That's crazy. We'll see, because I genuinely think Peyton Pritchard gets it. Because like half of these awards is campaigning it, right? Because it's votes. And the Celtics have been campaigning for Peyton Pritchard all year long. That propaganda's been out all year long. So I think he gets it personally. Coach of the year, we'll get to that. There's only two options for me. I don't think Hunter's on there, actually. I don't think he's on there. I think everyone else has had just bigger moments over the course of the year. Especially Peyton Pritchard, man. He's just had the 40-point game with Derek White. He's had such big moments that I think he's just going to get it. To me, Coach of the Year, there's two possibilities only in my mind, and that's Kenny Atkinson for the Cleveland Cavaliers and JB Bickerstaff for the Detroit Pistons. What the fuck? My internet just died. Oh, we're back. Okay, we're back. Shit, we went out and now we're back. But I think Kenny Atkinson has put his players in the best position to win this year. I think he's done an amazing job, like I was just talking about with. I think Evan Mobley is benefiting from Kenny Atkinson coaching, because if you watch him on defense, he's floating around and being in the right spot. I think a lot of their successes come to his coaching. And when you lean on the players in the playoffs, I think that's where they're going to struggle, because some of their guys, I think, are just not going to show up. But he's done an incredible job through the regular season. JB Bickerstaff, though, has literally transformed the Detroit Pistons. Literally transformed them. I know that there were guys talking about, oh, we're going to come into a good year this year, but he has literally transformed them. So I think those are the two shouts. If I had to give it to one, I think they're going to give it to Kenny Atkinson because of the Cavaliers record and like all of their 15-game winning streaks and stuff this year. I was preaching Kenny Atkinson for most of this year as well. Is this where I flip-flop, man? I like how the Cavaliers are coached. I think they're coached really well. Even some of their rotations, I tip my hat off to. I'll give it to Kenny Atkinson, even though I think it's really tight between him and JB Bickerstaff. Too bad OKC can't win it back to back. I mean, I just wouldn't give it to them. I don't think they've done anything. Like, they've been great all year. I don't think they've done anything incredibly different. I don't think they've done anything incredibly different all year long, though. I think they've just improved on what they did last year already. And I guess you can kind of say the same thing about Cleveland, but I think a lot of their success is Kenny Atkinson putting them in the right positions and guys are taking advantage of it. But I think for the Pistons, like, Cade Cunningham also came out and became who he's going to be. Right? I think that has a lot to do with the Detroit Pistons and them guys just being really fucking physical. So, I don't know. It's really tight. I think you give it to either one of them, honestly. But I would personally give it to Kenny Atkinson. Now, this is where I flip-flop, y'all. The entire year, I've been saying Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should win the MVP. The whole year. And I switched up. I switched up. Sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Sorry. But Jokic wins this. Or he should win it. I don't think he's going to get it. I think the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for MVP propaganda has been too strong. But the fact that their coach was having problems with the general manager all year, the fact that this general manager hasn't gotten talent in the last couple years, especially after their championship, you got players getting mad at the coach over here not playing hard. Aaron Gordon's been hurt all year. Jamal Murray has turned into Jamal Murray. Like, this guy has never had an all-star. Never. He's never played with a player that's even remotely close to an award. This year, Jalen Williams was an all-star. And a lot of people are campaigning for Lou Dort to get Defensive Player of the Year. That's not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's fault that they're... What the fuck just happened? That's not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's fault that he has good players around him. But at the same time... What the fuck just happened to my thing, bro? Why did my screen just go black? What the fuck, bro? But I don't know what just happened to my monitor, sorry. But like I said, there's just the lack of talent and support around Nikola Jokic from top to bottom, from the management to the coaches to the players. These guys wouldn't be in the playoffs without him. These guys wouldn't be touching a playoff series if it weren't for Jokic, and they're fourth. And listen, I said it just a week ago. I wouldn't mind if they got a co-MVP. I wouldn't mind, because you're talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in an era where everyone's shooting threes and all of these things, and a lot of people are inefficient. He's scoring 30 points a game on 50% shooting. It's like it's Michael Jordan shit. And the moves that he's making, the way that the teams are benefiting, or the players are benefiting around him, his defense doesn't get enough credit. I just think there's way more on Jokic's shoulders, and he is performing. I mean, he's top 3 in 3 categories. Like, I don't know. Russ Good, if you don't watch the news, Jokic to Thunder for the Denver rebuild. I seen a video that said Jokic is going to go to LA to go with Luka and LeBron. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. Them boys going to score like 150 points a game. Oh my God. I can't believe I flip-flopped. I've been on the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander MVP bandwagon all year long, up until recently. I just feel like when you take into account the talent around him, and not to say that those guys aren't talented, plus all of their issues in their organization, the fact that he's performed, that's incredible. The fact that he has performed and done what he's done. I said it before. He keeps getting better on this team, and the other players aren't. Except I'll give Michael Porter Jr. I feel like his game has grown a little bit. He's putting the ball on the floor a little bit more this year, getting to the cup a little bit more. But everyone else stuck in quicksand. No one else has elevated their game but Jokic. And so I would give it to him, man. I think he gets MVP of this year. But hey, man, I flip-flop. Hey, you know, it's funny. We named this episode Barely. And a lot of these awards, guys are going to win, but barely. You can make a legitimate case for 2, sometimes 3 people on these awards on who could get it. And I really like the fact that you really can make a case for everyone, which means that, you know, we're getting very deserving individuals on the list, right? You know, everyone talks about the NBA getting stuff wrong all the time. And, you know, I think they're, in a weird way, trying to get things right. And I think this is going to go a long way. No matter who wins it, people are going to be mad, right? That's just the reality of the situation. No matter who wins it, people are going to be mad. But I think the fact that you can make a case for everyone is a positive, right? I don't think that's a negative at all. But hey, man, that's going to do it for me for now. We talked a lot. We talked a lot about a lot of basketball today, man. We talked a lot of basketball. We got 2 games tonight. Just again, Miami, Chicago, Dallas, Sacramento, and then games Friday, and then the playoffs start on Sunday? So, or Saturday, Sunday. So it's going to be a really, really exciting time. I'm super excited. I think the playoffs are going to be incredible this year. But that's going to do it for me for now, man. Before I get out of here, please like, comment, and subscribe. All that good stuff. It really helps the channel out. Now, I'll be back because today's Wednesday. I usually do shows Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but I will not be here on Friday, so I will do a show tomorrow. So we'll talk about all of these 2 games tomorrow going into the weekend. We'll talk all about the playoffs. We'll probably have another long episode tomorrow, but that's going to do it for me for now, man. Just Bruce Brown, how good Joker is. What does that mean? Man, this guy Jokic is unreal, bro. And this might be his hobby. This might not even be his passion. And he is that good. Don't you hate running into a motherfucker like that, though? You guys ever run into somebody like that? Like they just good at something for no reason? It's not even what they do. You ever run into people like that? You're like, God, I fucking hate you. Too fucking good at this shit, man. But that's going to do it for me for now, man. Y'all have a good one. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. He trashed out. That's what I'm saying. He make people look good, man. He makes people look good. But that's going to do it for me. Y'all have a great one. Y'all have a great evening. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate y'all for that. Thank you so much. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Y'all were in the chat today, man. Y'all were really killing it, man. Y'all were really in here killing it, man. Thank you to Derpy Entertainment. Thank you, Richard, my boy. I appreciate you for coming in and supporting. I appreciate you, Elijah. As always, you've been in here with me since last playoffs, dog. So I appreciate you. Big Brucey, thank you so much as always. Y'all are the best, man. Y'all are the best. The LeBron effect. Have a good night. I appreciate y'all, man. Peace, peace, peace. Y'all have a good one, man. I'll see you guys later. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.